Hello friends, welcome you all. In our previous two lectures, we have seen bacteria that are present in food and how they cause infection through food and which type of bacteria are present and what are their properties we have already studied. So far in this lecture, we're going to study remaining microbes that are in the form of yeast, mold and virus. Okay, so we'll see food-borne yeast. Yeast is basically a unicellular fungi, and yeast have been associated with food since earliest times, both as beneficial agent and as a major cause of spoilage and economic loss. So basically, yeast affects the area of food both positive as well as both negative way, or beneficial as well as it produces harmful effects also. So current losses to food and dairy industry caused by yeast spoilage are estimated to several $billion. So this is pretty much a big loss due to yeast in this particular food industry. And as new food ingredients and new food manufacturing technologies are introduced, novel food spoilage yeast are emerging to prevent additional problems. Okay, so to the date, over 70 biological species of yeast have been described, and thousands of different varieties have been shown to exist in all kinds of natural and artificial habitats. Yeast may be viewed as being unicellular fungi in contrast to molds, which is multicellular. Yeast can be differentiated from bacteria by their larger size and their oval, elongate, elliptical and spherical shape. Typically, yeast cell, which ranges from its size, that is 5 to 8 micrometer in diameter, with some being even larger. So older yeast cultures tend to have smaller cells. So most of the importance of food it divides by budding. Most of those of importance which are present in food, they are divided by budding or fission. So yeast can grow in presence of various types of organic acids such as lactic acid, citric acid as well as tartaric acid, etc. And also over a wide range of acid pH and up to 18% of ethanol. So this is basic property of fungi that they can grow as acidic environment, and in that yeast is very much predominant, and it can even tolerate 18% ethanol concentration. So many grow in presence of 50 to 60% of sucrose. So many colors are produced by yeast ranging from creamy to pink or to red. The asco and arthrospores are of some quite heat resistance. So spores of yeast are also heat resistant structure. So this is the basic information regarding foodborne yeast, and in that we're going to see Candida. It's the most famous yeast, the member of Candida genus, forming shining white colonies, and cells contain no carotenoid pigments. So Candida tropicalis is the most prevalent in foods. In general, some of the members are involved in fermentation of coca beans as component of kaffir grains and many other products including beers and fruit juice. The popular yeast you are all known as baker's yeast, that is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, is another example of yeast. Then Candida albicans, it is normally present in your body as a member of normal flora of body, and it sometimes causes opportunistic, it acts as an opportunistic pathogen in compromised immunity condition. Okay, so then next is Deberomyces. So Deberomyces is one of the most prevalent yeast genera in dairy products. It can grow in 24% NaCl and at low water activity up to 0.65. Okay, then Gluberomyces. The Gluberomyces species produces beta-galactosidase and are vigorous fermenters of sugars including lactose, and Gluberomyces Maximus is one of the two most prevalent yeast in dairy products and kaffir grains and causes cheese spoilage. So these are mainly related to dairy products and their spoilages. And next is Rhodotula. It is again common yeast. The genus Rhodotula contains many psychotropic species that are found on fresh poultry, then streams, then fish and beef. So basically this Rhodotorula species of fish, they are associated with meat and meat related products, and some fish also, and some grow on surface of butter also. The next Saccharomyces, a very famous yeast. It is also known as baker's yeast as well as brewer's yeast. You are all known to this Saccharomyces yeast. So Saccharomyces are ascosporogenous yeast that multiply by lateral budding and produce spherical spores in asci. So ascus is the structure where ascospores are produced, and they are diploid and do not ferment lactose. So all bakers and brewers wine and campaign yeast are Saccharomyces cerevisiae. So Saccharomyces cerevisiae is better known as baker's yeast as well as brewer's yeast. So it is all kinds of beverages, that is ethanol, then beer, then wine, they are derived from yeast. So that's why it is famous, and it is popularly known as brewer's yeast. In case of bakery products, so yeast ferment lots of products, and it is popularly known as baker's yeast. In case of bread and other products you consume on daily basis, that are derived from baker's yeast. This is how basic information regarding Saccharomyces, and they are found in kefir grains and can be isolated from wide range of foods. So Saccharomyces cerevisiae rarely cause spoilage, so it is mostly the beneficial yeast as far as food and food related other products are concerned. It causes less spoilage. Then next, Torulapspora. So Torulapspora multiplies by lateral budding. So they are strong fermenters of sugars, and Torula delbrueckii is the most prevalent species. So these are all kinds of yeast that are involved in food. They are related to food, both beneficial as well as both harmful way. Then next we'll study food-borne molds. So molds are filamentous fungi that grow in the form of tangled mass and spreads rapidly and may cover several inches of area in a very short period. Okay, so it is also referred as mycelial growth. Okay, so fungi mostly they grow through mycelia, and when you left the bread for several time, after 4 to 5 days in an open condition, you find some cotton like or thread like structure in that. So this is nothing but mold and fungi, and that white color growth is cotton like growth, which appears to be white in color. It is nothing but mycelial growth. So mycelium is composed of branches of filamentous referred as hyphae. So mycelium is nothing but collection of different types of hyphae, and the molds are of great importance as far as foods are concerned. So they multiply by ascospores or conidia, and ascospores of some of the molds genera are notable for their extreme degrees of heat resistance. So the spores of molds are heat resistant, so that we cannot eradicate them totally. Then these are different types of food-borne molds. Alternaria is the one of the example. So Alternaria species they form septate mycelia with conidiospores, and large brown conidia are produced. So they cause brown to black rots in fruits, apples. Some of the species produces mycotoxins. So basically these fungi, they are involved in spoilage of fruit. Okay, and other product that contains lots of moisture. In that we have already studied Alternaria. So this is involved in spoilage of fruits, apples, as well as some other species produces mycotoxins. The toxin that is produced by fungi is known as mycotoxins. Then that Aspergillus. So Aspergillus is again common fungi. It appears yellow to green to black on a large number of foods. So some species causes spoilage of oils. Then Aspergillus Niger produces beta-galactosidase, then glucomylase, then invertase, then lipase and pectinase. So these are the different kinds of enzymes that are produced by Aspergillus niger, and this causes spoilage of several kinds of foods. Aspergillus oryzae sorry produces a amylase. So two types of Aspergillus, two species, that are Aspergillus flavis and Aspergillus parasiticus, produces aflatoxin, which is a potent toxin, neurotoxin, and it causes severe health complications. And other produces ochratoxin A and sterigomatocytin. Okay, so all these are components that are produced, or compounds produced by Aspergillus species. So there are several enzymes Aspergillus niger produces, which are beta-galactosidase, then glucomylase, then invertase, then lipase, then pectinase. And some of the species of Aspergillus niger, they produces potent neurotoxin, that is aflatoxin, and other produces ochratoxin. Okay, then next mold is Geotrichum. The yeast like fungi, Geotrichum is also referred as dairy mold, and this is there is not sufficient description about that mold, but it looks like yeast. The next is Mucor and Rhizopus. Again, these are common fungi you commonly found in bread and some other products that contains moisture. So it is popularly it is a major cause of spoilage of bread and other foods. So Mucor and Rhizopus, Mucor species that produces a non-septate hyphae are prominent food spoilers. Similarly, Rhizopus species also produces a non-septate hyphae and give rise to stolons and rhizoids. So these are the structures that helps in survival of these fungi. So Rhizopus stolonifer is far by the most common species in foods, also reported as Braille molds. So if you left the bread for several period for 2 to 4 days, you will appear some cotton like growth, which sometimes may appear white, or sometimes it look like black color. So that black color are spores that are present in that bread, and these are the spores of Mucor and Rhizopus. So other important genera of molds related to spoilage of food are Neurospora, then Thamedium, then Trichothecum, then Penicillium, then Cladosporium. So these are different types of Mucor and Rhizopus species or genera that are involved in spoilage of different foods and other products. So these are pictures that are showing food-borne molds. In that, in figure A, you can see Aspergillus species, and in figure B, it is the Rhizopus species, and it is Penicillium species. So Penicillium is important as far as antibiotic production is concerned. Then there are some viruses that are present in foods, and they are categorized under food-borne viruses. So viruses are a filterable ultramicroscopic particle that can be cultivated only on live tissues. You are all known about viruses, and you are all familiar with the term viruses. So virus consists of a core of nucleic acid, DNA, RNA, and it is covered by a protein coat. And it is commonly believed that some of the viruses are responsible for foodborne diseases in humans, particularly some of the non-bacterial gastroenteritis due to enteroviruses. Then contaminated water and food are important carriers of hepatitis viruses. So these are the main diseases that are caused by viruses. So gastroenteritis, other than bacteria, it is also called by some viruses. And hepatitis, we are all known disease of liver. It is also called as hepatitis virus. And foot and mouth diseases, FMD, causing in various cattle. So again, this is veterinary diseases that are caused by viruses. They can be transmitted to human being through their food, and similarly viral diseases of poultry have also been shown to elements in humans. You are very well known about chikungunya, and also I am not recalling that name, but still the viruses infect most of the poultry, as well as some veterinary animal. So in this way we have completed types of microbes, both bacteria as well as yeast as well as fungi and some viruses in these 3 lectures. So this is overall background behind the food microbiology. In that we have covered that which type of microorganism, especially bacteria, whether they are beneficial or harmful, which type of bacteria are present in food. Besides bacteria, we have also studied or also covered some yeast and molds and viruses. So this is basic background behind food microbiology. Okay, so in next lecture we'll going to start with another new topic. So thanks for watching this video.